This is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Whew. I did the Mount Kenya Mackinders Teleki Valley hike. It elevates up to more than 4,000 meters in altitude. The hike was organized by the gym that I go to, so it was a bit easy, like familiar faces and all. We arrived at the gate at Mount Kenya National Park at around 8 a.m. in the morning. Hi, so we're about to start the hike. So it's going to be like 20 kilometers. Shouldn't be too hard, I guess. And yeah, so this is me before the hike. Just some stretching first, just to make sure that we get our bodies ready to go. And we started the hike. Now, of course, like when you're starting, you feel like your body is up to it, your mind is up to it and everything. And that was the case, I think, for the first kilometer, because the climb is quite steep when you're starting, and as you go again the altitude is changing, so of course you're starting to have issues with breathing and all. We got to about 2.5 kilometers, then there was like just some field there where we decided to sit for a while. And when you got there, in my head I thought we were already like 5 kilometers or like 10 kilometers in, honestly. Then our guide told us that we were 2.5 kilometers in. That climb felt like it went on for forever. A lot of people also quit at this point. Like I saw others puking. Apparently milk doesn't work well with such an altitude, and they're taking milk in the morning, so they were puking all over, and others just couldn't manage to go past that. 2 kilometers, 9 to go. When I left my house, the one thing that I told myself is no matter what happens, whether it rains or it doesn't rain, I had to make it to summit. Like, I made that bet with myself and I didn't want to fail myself. Keeping promises that you make to yourself is really, really important. It started raining a little, but we just continued the climb. I made sure, which is a wise choice, and I advise everyone else to do that. I went with the fastest guys. There were about 5 of us who were like the leading group. And I went with them because I knew these guys, they were up to the task and they're going to push me until the end. They picked up their pace really, really fast. Someone say that they were military guys, so 2 of them actually. That is why they were going like that fast. The climb felt like nothing to them. I followed along. There were about like 3 of us, myself. There's a guy that I met there who is an advocate, and there's also this other lady that we were with. Probably like 500 meters after the first stop that we had, it started raining, like serious rain. So we had to like change on and wear our waterproof jackets and raincoats. Like, it was so freaking cold after that. We hadn't even gotten halfway through. The entire climb is about 12 kilometers about there. So we hadn't even reached halfway when it started raining, and it was raining like really mad. We found some really, really nice caves. I think they were called Narumoru caves. I hope that was the name, but they were like really nice caves. So this is Narumorki caves. Ooh. Yes? Yeah, Narumorki caves. Mazema, nikosha momo aliko huko ndani. Man. Sahi sisi na kina Dedan Kimathi tumefika the same place. Man. By the way, sikuwa imagine taguza mlima kale. Actually, that was I think one of the best like things that we found along the way. Our guide was good at the beginning. When it started raining, bro started complaining. He was saying like, yo, I don't think I can continue with the rain, we need to go back. But I was like, yo, I decided to go, so I'm going to finish my hike. Even before the halfway point, it was just me, the lady, and the other guy, and the 2 guys were in front of us. So we just had to push without the guide. We didn't know where we were going, but there was like some sort of trail that we had to follow. Plus there are these posts that are like painted in white, others are painted in white and red. If you just follow them, you'll get to your destination. So we went through that, and we got to a point where the lady, like we went like really far, but I felt like she was just going too slow, and I needed to get to summit, and it was getting late because we were told we need to be at summit by 2 p.m. Then by 2 p.m. we should be starting our descent. It was like probably like 1, so I had like about an hour to get to summit, and this is like probably a kilometer after the halfway point. So after that, it was just me. Like for a few kilometers, there was no one. I was trying to look for the guys who had already gone ahead, and I couldn't find them. This is the point where I believe the hike was more mental than it was physical. Because physically, like, you can try and push yourself to get there. But there's this trail, like kilometers and kilometers, where it is the same vegetation all through. You can't see anyone who is ahead of you. That your mind starts playing tricks on you, telling you, like, you're probably lost, you need to go back, you need to do all that. I decided to shut it up and just proceeded. Like, I knew somehow I was going to find someone along the way, so I just followed blindly. Then a few kilometers in, there were some guys who caught up with me. So like 2 of them, they were like from the different group, but we went all together. Then when you got to, there's now this river. It is called the Narumoru River, I think. Yeah, I believe that is the name that was called. So one of the most beautiful rivers I've ever seen, if not the most beautiful river I've ever seen. Yeah, it's actually the most beautiful river I've ever seen. It's not that big, but like the water is clean, the scenery, the views are like crazy. So we found like 3 guys who were on their way back. Actually 2 guys and 1 lady. They were the only group that we met who were on their way back, and they were the only ones who had met with to camp. Like no other lady had met apart from this one who was with this guys. So it was like a really beautiful like scenery and beautiful views as you go. For you to get to the campsite, like it is a steep climb, like rocks all over. It takes up all your energy. Climbed that, then like ran when we got to, just wanted to see the campsite. It was like a nice building that was there.
And we finally made it to camp. This is Mackinders camp, but the main point we're supposed to go is Ukombela. So, I'm so excited. I've been wanting to quit for so many times, but my ancestors kept on telling me, bro, you need to go. You're the last strong specimen in our lineage. And I didn't want to fail my ancestors. So here I am. Look at the views, man. Whew. We finally made it to camp. So freaking excited. Wow. Sijaongea hivi. I've never been this excited. Okay.
People are taking photos and all. Now, these were one of the funniest things happened, if not the funniest thing that happened that day. The other group that was there, first thing, these guys, they look like they were unprepared. As much as they're like 5 of them made it to camp. Like, they looked like they were unprepared. They were wearing shorts. They had no coats. They just had like some light sweaters. Even worse of all, they were wearing sneakers. One of the guys was wearing loafers. Like, how do you wear loafers to climb Mount Kenya? That was just crazy. Anyway, they actually struggled, especially on their way back. The funniest thing that happened was, we got there. It was around like 2:22 p.m. 22 minutes overtime, but the descent is because you'll pick up your pace. You'll probably need about at most 3 hours if you're like really slow to get to the starting point. The rule is like you have to get out of the park by 6 p.m. So I saw the guys there. I thought like they were going to take about like 10 minutes, take some photos, and then have like your snack and go. These guys, we went to the building at that camp. It's called like Narumoru River Lodge. These guys, they had carried 2 bags, I think. They chomoad about 30 or 40 chapatis. Like, one of the guys just said like, the chapatis, and I was just like, who carries 30, 40 chapatis to a hike? Like, when in that bag, I thought they were only carrying like water and some light snacks, like njugus and like lunch bars and the likes. Again, just the basic snacks that you need for such a hike. These guys had carried chapatis, and the other guy in another bag had carried like, I think like their stew and some sodas. That was just crazy. Like, it was one of the most hilarious things I saw. Just in our descent, I was just picturing those guys. They're still back there, trying to rarua their 40 chapatis before they start their descent again. That was beautiful. Then we just started our way back. So on our way back, it was just me and the other guy, because the lady didn't make it to come again. She put in the work, because there's only 5 of us from our group who made it to summit. Apart from like the 5 of us, she's the only one who made it the farthest, because most of the guys went back like before even the halfway point. When it started raining, they complained and started going back. I learned a lot from that, like especially mentally, how you need to push yourself whenever you feel like you're about to give up. Like, you still have the energy in you to keep going. Like, you just have to tap in so deep, then keep going, because it's mostly mental, honestly. It's just your mind playing tricks, telling you, bro, like, because it's not used to such extreme scenarios, so your body is trying to just fight you and telling you, you don't need to go this, you don't need to do this, we're not used to this, let's give up. But you just have to, like, be very strong and like strong will and strong minded to just keep going. And the views at the end, those views were worth it. Like, when I got to the summit point, I even stopped thinking about how hard and how difficult that hike was. Like, I literally forgot about it, and I just enjoyed the views. And if you haven't done this hike, please do it. My goal at the end is to do the full 4-day summit, like do like to the highest point in Mount Kenya. I hope I do that within this year or like early next year, but that is the goal. It's going to depend, of course, on my schedule and like a few other factors that are probably out of my control. Then after that, Kilimanjaro is going to be next, but I'm going to be walking, like when I do this, I'm going to be walking you through the journey. And if you haven't started hiking, this is your sign. Like, you need to start. You need to just get up and start. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. See you next time.